Thank you, Rabbi Black. The House will come to order. The pledge today will be led by Brema Priola and Marley Priola, STEM Launch, Thornton, Colorado, the children of Representative Priola.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Certificates, and then we'll go get a picture taken. Mr. Culler, please call the roll.
Representatives Arndt, Becker J, Becker K, Brown, Buck, Buckner, Carver, Conti, Corum, Representative Corum, Oh, yes, yes. Quorum excused. Court Danielson. Del Grosso. Okay. Del Grosso. Present. Dorr. Duran. Esgar, Everett, Fields, Representative Fields, excused, Foote, Garnett, Janal, Hamner, Humphrey, Joshi, Kagan, Representative Kagan, excused. Klingenschmidt. Kraft Tharp. Representative, oh, there she is. Landgraf. Lawrence. Lebsock. Lee. Representative Fields is present. Leonard. Lontine. Lundeen. McCann. Melton. Mitch Bush. Moreno. Navarro. Neville, Nordberg, Babone, Pedersen, Primavera, Representative Primavera, Primavera excused, Priola, yeah, Rankin, Representative Primavera is present, Representative Rankin, yep, Ransom, Rosenthal, Rupe, Ryden, Sane, Salazar, Sias, Singer, Singer excused, Singer present, Thurlow, Tyler, Van Winkle, Vigil, Willett, Williams, Representative Williams,
Representative Williams excused.
Wilson, Windholes, Winter, Wist, Young, Madam Speaker.
Here. With 62 present, 3 excused, a quorum is present. Representative Winter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the reading of the journal for May 4th, 2016 be dispensed with and that it be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
You have heard the motion that the journal be adopted as corrected by the Chief Clerk. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Announcements and introductions. Representative Priola.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's a delight to be able to bring
Representative Priola, I'm sorry, just give me 2 seconds. People don't want to miss this one.
Okay.
May we have your attention to the well, please? Please proceed, Representative Priola.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's a delight to bring the newest Priola to the Capitol today for the first time. This is Cora Gabrielle. She turned 2 months yesterday. Wow. Yeah, and Mama's been taking great care of her, and my 2 daughters who did the pledge are over there, so, you know. Last night we were playing around and trying to see if you can tell who's Kevin and who's Cora.
I can tell, and I want her.
Because
Hello, beautiful.
we're both chubby and we both don't have any hair, so.
Hello, beautiful.
Anyway,
She's
but
lots prettier than you are.
yes, she is, and she's a sweetheart. But also want to announce as well that it's Concrete Day at the Capitol today, so we'll be outside having burgers and brats. And if you want to hold the baby, I'll see you over on the side. Thank you.
Further announcements. Representative Kraft Tharp. And members, could we have your attention again for a tribute, please?
Thank you. Thank you, Representative Priola, for bringing your baby, because it's glorious to celebrate the beginning of life. I'd like to take a moment to be able to celebrate a very honorable man at the end of his life. So today, I want to join the Marcella family.
Representative Kraft Tharp, give me a couple minutes here. Members, may we have your attention, please? We have a tribute. Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So today I'd like to join with the Marcella family and friends to celebrate the life of Cal Marcella. The state of Colorado lost Cal Marcella, the former general manager of RTD and widely regarded as the father of fast tracks. Mr. Marcella's impressive career had a significant positive and lasting impact on our state. His commitment and tenacity were extraordinary, and his work helped us achieve one of the nation's best transit systems. The members of the Colorado House of Representatives express heartfelt condolences to the family and friends of Cal Marcella on their tremendous loss, and express gratitude for his many years of dedicated service to our state. And Madam Speaker, is it possible, can I mention who is here to join us today?
Please do, yes.
Thank you. So members, if you would help me welcome Sherry Marcella, Cal's wife, daughter Sarah, son Matt and his girlfriend Kelly Freeman, cousin Jessica Allen, former state representative, RTD director, City Councilor and Mayor Pro Tem Bob Briggs, and former state representative Mary Blue. Oh, and Dave Rose. Sorry, Dave. Sorry. And I saw you too. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Kraft Tharp, and welcome, everyone. It's nice to have you on the floor. Further announcements and introductions. Representative Ransom.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, I hope that you'll help me welcome 2 members of the Douglas County School Board that are here with us this morning. Anne Marie Lemieux and Wendy Vogel are sitting along. Stand up. And they're here this morning to join us.
I think that's a $2 fine. Representative Primavera.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have some good news and some bad news. The Public Health Care and Human Services Committee only has one more Friday to meet. That's the good news. But the bad news is we have two bills up tomorrow in Public Health and Human Services, Senate Bill 146 and Senate Bill 150.
Representative Foote.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, I'm pleased to announce that we have a school group here from my district, the Running River School from Lafayette. They are currently up in the gallery. If you could please turn around and give them a round of applause and welcome them for being here.
Representative Mitch Bush.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning, colleagues, especially colleagues on the Transportation Committee. We will be meeting upon adjournment. In addition to the bill we already have, Senate Bill 138, we have 3 more bills. House Bill 1465, 66, and 67. So we will be looking at a total of 4 bills this morning. Please let's hustle on down there. Thanks.
Representative Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, it's a neat thing when someone's recognized by Democracy Works, but it's rather unique when 2 sisters are recognized for Democracy Works. And today we're honored to have one of those sisters here over on my right, Donna Rhodes, recognized for Democracy Works. Thank you for being here.
Representative Salazar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and happy Cinco de Mayo. That's right, happy Cinco de Mayo. I want to tell you a little bit about Cinco de Mayo, folks, something that you guys don't know, is that back in 1862, the Mexican army, outnumbered 3-1, defeated French forces at the Battle of Puebla. And you say, well, what's that got to do with us? Well, it has a lot to do with this, and I'll tell you what it is that the French army was looking to help out the Confederacy during our Civil War. And part of what was happening was that the French military would come in through Mexico and then go north in order to occupy that area for the Confederacy. And it was some poorly trained Mexican soldiers outnumbered 3-1 that stopped them. So when you think about our republic, when you think about the United States of America, you should think about Cinco de Mayo other than wearing a sombrero and drinking tequila and that cultural appropriation. It was Mexicans who helped make sure that our union stayed whole. Thank you. And that's where the doghouse stems originally started, as Representative Pabon amply pointed out. We're that old.
Representative McCann.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of Health Insurance and Environment Committee, we've added a bill for this afternoon. It's Senate Bill 199. That will be heard first before our other 3 bills. So we have 4 bills this afternoon, starting with Senate Bill 199.
Representative Fields.
Thank you, Madam Speakers. Members of local government, we have been assigned a bill upon adjournment. It's Senate Bill 211, and we will convene 10 minutes after we're adjourned. Thank you.
Representative Kagan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of the House Judiciary Committee and those interested in bills coming before House Judiciary this afternoon, we have a full calendar, but I'm changing the order. The order will be as follows for those who are interested. First, Senate Bill 181. Second, Senate Bill 180. Third, House Bill 1395. Fourth, Senate Bill 26. Fifth, Senate Bill 19. Sixth, Senate Bill 163.
Representative Mitch Bush.
Thank you again, Madam Speaker. Transportation Committee members, I forgot to clarify, just in case you were wondering, we will be working through lunch because we have those 4 bills. So we will be working through lunch on transportation.
Any further announcements and introductions? Representative Klingenschmidt.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today is National Day of Prayer. There is a rally on the west steps of the Capitol So after you get your barbecue on the east lawn, come out to the west steps. Around noon today, there will be prayers, and actually it's an all-day event. Many of you might have seen your constituents out there praying already. I encourage you to come and join the National Day of Prayer. Thank you.
Further announcements or introductions? Representative Court.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Finance Committee, we will do the bills that we have. We aren't adding any today. We may have to tomorrow, but that's for tomorrow. We will do in order Senate Bill 155, Senate Bill 117, and Senate Bill 35 upon adjournment in LSBA as usual.
And Madam Majority Leader, I found Representative Court. The Speaker Pro Tem has one announcement. There will be a committee change today for today only on Judiciary. Representative Wist will replace Representative Dorr. Representative Wist, I don't know what you did, but you know, good luck today. Further announcements or introductions? Seeing no further announcements or introductions, the next order of business is third reading, final passage of bills. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 13. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I'm going to lay over House Bill 1454 until May 6th.
Seeing no objection, House Bill 1454 will be laid over as requested by the Majority Leader. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1385.
House Bill 1385, Representative Singer also sent a renewal concerning the definition of child abuse or neglect in the Colorado Children's Code as it relates to the use of or exposure to substances in connection with making appropriation.
Representative Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move for the passage of House Bill 1385 on third reading and final passage.
Representative Singer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Members, I know I almost never come down here on third reading, and I don't think I've ever come down on a third reading bill on my own bill, but here we are. It's my fifth session here at the Capitol, and I'd like to think I've learned a few things, but then again, here I am filibustering my own bill on third reading. But here's what else I know. As lawmakers, we all get known for certain areas of subject matter. For Representative Lebsack, it's humane treatment of animals. For Representative Lawrence, it's advocating for victims of crime. For Representative Klingenschmidt, it's running bills with me? I don't know. But in all seriousness, for me, I'd like to think it's about running bills to help kids and families in our child welfare system. And as luck would have it, marijuana. One of those issues I chose to work on, the other kind of found me. But before coming to the legislature, my profession as a caseworker told me we have to do better for our most vulnerable children. And my ideology told me it was high time to stop an expensive and wasteful drug war and redirect our resources to programs that hold the right people accountable. So today, House Bill 1385 marries these two issues. A bill this chamber has never had a chance to vote on, a bill I have never supported in previous years for many of the same reasons we heard on second reading, and a bill I am now carrying. I'm carrying this bill not only because it is time to thread the needle of helping kids when they need it, but also ending a government overreach by protecting the privacy of parents and families using the facts of a situation and not relying on fear. I am carrying this bill because the primary opponents and proponents came to my office asking to give this bill new life in the spirit of mutual concern for our children and mutual respect for each other. I'm carrying this bill because I've seen caseworkers waste their time turning families' lives upside down on frivolous, fear-based claims rooted in reefer madness. And I'm carrying this bill because I've seen caseworkers and family members and kids shake their heads in disgust, wring their hands in frustration, and hold back tears in despair because another child, usually under the age of 5, has been shaken, has been smothered, has been beaten and smashed to death due to a drug-addled parent, and our counties weren't able to intervene fast enough. None of these situations are hyperbole. All of these are real. The stakes couldn't be higher. And when counties intervene too quickly or too harshly, you risk traumatizing that family and ruining that child's future with a life needlessly spent in foster care. Disproportionately, we know these children come from families in poverty and are people of color. And when counties don't intervene fast enough or in the right way, it could very well be the difference between life or death. So what does this bill do? This bill says your county should have the ability to assess a situation when substance abuse or exposure threatens or results in harm, when a parent's behavior threatens or results in that harm, when knowing, reckless, or negligent exposure threatens or results in harm, when a child is exposed to or ingests a drug. What if a child's born exposed to a drug? Right now, prescription drugs are exempt. Alcohol isn't even mentioned in children's code. This bill asks your county to evaluate the situation and make damn sure that parent was working with a doctor who knows about what prescribed or recommended substance that parent is using before that kid is born. Lastly, the state must actually do rulemaking with counties and stakeholders on any of these remaining gray areas and report back to us about how this new law is being used if passed, and what populations are being fairly or unfairly targeted, and how lives are being saved. So what happens if this bill doesn't pass? This critical issue doesn't even make it to the Senate for tough deliberation on how to better protect our kids. Current law doesn't even mention when kids are born exposed to alcohol. That's off the table. But there's an automatic hammer for THC currently. When those kids get a little older and substance abuse, use, or exposure threatens or harms that kid, counties rely on one sentence right now in our children's code. One sentence. The child's environment is injurious to his or her welfare. That's it. No mention of drugs, no mention of alcohol, no mention of prescription drugs. The child's environment is injurious to his or her welfare. That's not fair to our kids, it's not fair to our families, it's not fair to our system. And because of that one sentence, none of us know how many parents are truly struggling with drugs versus domestic violence versus mental illness or anything else. And taxpayers, our counties, our families, our children deserve better than this status quo. I don't expect this to be an easy vote. The negotiations with world-renowned child abuse prevention groups like Kemp Center and Children's Hospital, and negotiations with counties, CDHS, CALOR, and the Drug Policy Alliance weren't much easier. But all of these groups are supporting or neutral on this bill for the first time ever. So let's call a spade a spade. I wouldn't be up here if I didn't need something. I need your votes on both sides of the aisle. Let me just say that again. I need your votes on both sides of the aisle. I need to send a message to the Senate that we are serious about this issue and this bill deserves a fair hearing. This bill isn't perfect. That's because society isn't perfect. And I know on a complicated bill it's sometimes considered the safe thing to vote no. I don't believe this is a safe no vote. Ambiguity in our current law hurts everyone, families, kids. Whether you're for privacy or protecting our kids, please give this bill a chance. Give our families a chance. Give our kids a chance. Please vote yes today.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1385? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage of House Bill 1385 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 36 aye votes, 29 no votes, 0 excused, House Bill 1385 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Next order of business is consideration of conference committee reports. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Bill 21.
Senate Bill 21 by Senator Donovan, also Representatives Mitch Bush and Becker Kay, concerning recognition of the third Saturday of May as a state holiday in connection with designating the third Saturday of May as Public Lands Day.
Representative Mitch Bush.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Our conference committee met yesterday, and the vote was 5-1 to accept a new solution, and we did accept that.
Did you move the conference committee report?
Representative Mitch Bush.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Therefore, I move the first conference report on Senate Bill 21.
That is a proper motion. Is there further discussion on the adoption of the first conference committee report to Senate Bill 21? Seeing none, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote.
Too late.
Representative Becker Kay. Close the machine. With 59 aye votes, 6 no votes, 0 excused, the first conference committee report to Senate Bill 21 is adopted. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move for the repassage of Senate Bill 21 as amended.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the repassage of Senate Bill 21. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 36 aye votes, 29 no votes, 0 excused, Senate Bill 21 is repassed. Co-sponsors. Representative Rankin.
Mr. Chairman, I request my name be removed as a co-sponsor.
The Representative Rankin's name will be removed as a co-sponsor to Senate Bill 21. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Bill 62.
Senate Bill 62 by Senator Marble, also Representatives Becker Kay and Vigil, concerning modifications to the regulation of veterinary pharmaceuticals.
Representative Becker J.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Our conference committee met a few days ago and did very good work. The vote on it, I believe, was unanimous. I move the House adopt the first report of the first conference committee of Senate Bill 62.
That is a proper motion. Representative Vigil, do you want to add anything else?
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, I just want to say that my colleague, Representative Becker J., did a fantastic job working with other folks as well as Representative Janal. So it was a lot of work and it took a lot of negotiation, but did a great job.
Representative Janal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I just wanted to clarify that we did work very well together in regards to both the Senate and the House, and what we came to was a veterinary advisory committee, which consists of one veterinarian, one wholesaler or veterinarian, and an ag consumer. And it gives vets and veterinarians more voice to get what they need and their concerns met while they're preserving the pharmacy board as it was. So it is a very good conference agreement, and again, it was unanimous. So I ask for your yes vote.
Representative Becker J.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, and I do want to echo that we had a great group working together. I appreciate that Representative Janal came on, also facilitated some compromise inside of this bill. but wanted to thank the veterinarians for coming forward and making sure we had the right bill to move forward with. So I thank them all.
Is there any further discussion on the motion to adopt the first conference committee report? Seeing none, the question before us is the passage or the adoption of the first conference committee report to Senate Bill 62. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 65 aye votes, 0 no votes, 0 excused, the first conference committee report to Senate Bill 62 is adopted. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move for the repassage of Senate Bill 62 as amended.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the repassage of Senate Bill 62 as amended. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 65 aye votes, 0 no votes, 0 excused, Senate Bill 62 is repassed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move to proceed out of order for consideration of Senate amendments to House bills.
Seeing no objection, the House will proceed out of order for consideration of Senate amendments to House bills. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1423.
House Bill 1423, Representatives Lundin and Garnett, also Senator Hill, concerning measures to maximize trust in the use of student data in the elementary and secondary education system.
Representative Garnett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move that the House concur to Senate amendments to House bills.
Please explain the amendments, Representative Garnett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem and members. The Senate worked with both Representative Lundin and myself to make this bill stronger. One of the changes was further clarifying the definition of destroy. Again, we're the first state in the country to use the word destroy in relation to data instead of just delete, because what we realize is delete doesn't mean delete. Delete means keep. So we kept, we created a definition of destroy, and this is actually a new definition that we worked with off of a federal rule, and so that was one of the changes we made.
Representative Lundin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. The amendment did three other things, all of which made the bill better in our opinion because our fingerprints were all over the amendment. It gave us greater visibility into contracts so you can actually see into the details of what a contract relationship looks like between a district and a vendor. It clarifies due process so that we have a rational due process that will stand up and get the job done. And it expands transparency required of the LEPs, the local education providers, by explaining whatever data elements are being collected. All four of these components of this amendment were very good.
Is there any further discussion on the motion to concur with Senate amendments? Seeing none, the question before us is the motion to concur to Senate amendments. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 65 aye votes, 0 no votes, 0 excused, the motion to concur is passed. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1423 as amended.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1423 as amended. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 65 aye votes, 0 no votes, 0 excused, House Bill 1423 is repassed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to House Bill 1377.
House Bill 1377, Representative Primavera, also Senator Lambert, concerning the creation of a task force on the collection and security of digital images of evidence of child abuse or neglect.
Representative Primavera.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Unfortunately, and with regret, I move to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1377.
Please explain the amendments, Representative Primavera.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Well, first of all, I wanted to thank the stakeholders who met even this morning on this to gather their input. We live in a digital era, and the purpose of the initial bill was to develop best practices for taking, storing, and distributing digital images in the documentation of child abuse. Senator Lambert worked really hard on this bill, and he's had a lot of passion of it, and he's actually worked on this issue for about 3 years. So what the amendment does, it expands the focus, or what the Senate did was they expanded the focus from child welfare workers to to government employees that are involved in the issue of child abuse. He wanted to add municipalities to this group that takes a look at this because they oversee the police department, which is involved in child abuse investigations. He wanted the schools involved because school nurses and sometimes they come to the schools, I guess, to take digital images. He wanted to change the task force composition a little bit to give more flexibility to the governor and the Speaker of the House and the Senate President on their appointments. So he removed a rural caseworker. He combined two law enforcement positions. He added the Attorney General, the District Attorney, a private attorney, and he wanted to have the task force determine whether e-discovery should be used in the distribution of these digital images. So I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on the motion to concur? Seeing none, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 65 aye votes, 0 no votes, 0 excused, the motion to concur is passed. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1377 as amended.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1377 as amended. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 51 aye votes, 14 no votes, 0 excused, House Bill 1377 as amended is repassed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1080.
House Bill 1080 by Representatives Foote and Landgraf, also Senators Cook and Johnston, concerning assault by strangulation in connection with making an appropriation.
Representative Foote and Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. We move that the House concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1080.
Please explain the amendments, Representative Foote.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. The House Bill 1080, you probably recall, is a bill that puts a definition of strangulation into the criminal code and makes it a felony, a class 4 felony. And at the time that the bill was passed, there was a cross-reference to a crime of violence statute which would make the sentence a mandatory minimum of 5 to 16 years. Since then, the House and Senate have both passed Senate Bill 102, which changed the mandatory minimum sentencing structure. And so the Senate amendment conforms the bill back to where the sentencing is as of now, as of the passage of Senate Bill 102. So it's pretty much a technical amendment, and we're asking for your support.
Representative Landgraf, anything to add?
Yes, vote yes, please.
Seeing no further discussion on the motion to concur, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 65 aye votes, 0 no votes, 0 excused, the motion to concur is passed. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1080 as amended.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1080 as amended. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 60 aye votes, 5 no votes, 0 excused, House Bill 1080 as amended is repassed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1277.
House Bill 1277, Representatives Valentina Landgraf, also Senators Gonzalez and Roberts, concerning the appeal process for medical assistance benefits in connection with making appropriation.
Representatives Lontine and Landgraf.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. We would ask for concurrence, or we move concurrence to the Senate amendments, tragically.
Please explain the amendments. Representative Lontine.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. So, bless you. What the Senate did was the original bill that we sent over had a little over $5,000 fiscal note. Half of it was to go to programming charges for HICPUF for the MMIS system, and the other half was to help with programming changes to the CBMS system. HICPUF has agreed to just absorb the CBMS changes, and so we are just funding the $2,500 for the MMIS system programming changes, and there is over $22,000 in federal matching funds that goes along with that. So we asked for an aye vote.
Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Since the Senate did something right for the first time in the history of their existence, we would ask for a yes vote.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the motion to concur to Senate amendments to House Bill 1277. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 57 aye votes, 8 no votes, 0 excused, the motion to concur is passed. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1277 as amended.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1277 as amended. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 52 aye votes, 13 no votes, 0 excused, House Bill 1277 is repassed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1378.
House Bill 1378, Representative Janal, Senator Crowder, concerning requiring courts to collect money from DUI offenders for the purpose of reimbursing law enforcement agencies for the cost of performing chemical tests.
Representative Janal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move to concur with Senate amendments on House Bill 1378.
Please explain the amendments.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. House Bill 378, just to refresh your memory, allows for the court to collect reimbursements and distribute the costs back to the law enforcement agencies that incurred the costs in regards to DUIs. And what the Senate did was it clarified that there has been due process given to the defendant and that they have been successfully prosecuted for their DUI or DUID charges. And it also removed some duplicate language and only adds costs to the court, which will then be assessed against the defendant, collected from the defendant, and then transferred to the agency that incurred those costs. And basically, what the Senate did was clarify that once due process has been given to the defendant, that the court will assess the fines, collect them, and transfer them to the proper law enforcement agency. These are minor changes, and they provide a better clarification for the judges to interpret the statute. I ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on the motion to concur to Senate amendments? Seeing none, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 65 aye votes, 0 no votes, 0 excused, motion to concur is passed. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1378 as amended.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1378 as amended. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 52 aye votes, 13 no votes, 0 excused, House Bill 1378 is repassed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to House Bill 1394.
House Bill 1394, Representative Young, also Senator Grantham, concerning clarifying definitions related to at-risk persons.
Representative Young.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move the House concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1394.
Please explain the amendments.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Well, members, as you may recall, these are this entire bill is about aligning our statutes so we better address the issue of abuse of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And if you'll recall, we had a large amendment that was done by the Colorado District Attorney's Council, CDAC, and after we had passed the bill, they continued to work a little bit looking over the bill and discovered as it went back over to the Senate that in fact there were a couple of clarifying amendments that they can make that actually help the banking community do their role in this process more effectively. And so I ask for your aye vote on the concurrence.
Is there any further discussion on the motion to concur? Seeing none, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 44 aye votes, 21 no votes, 0 excused, the motion to concur is passed. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1394 as amended.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1394 as amended. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 40 aye votes, 25 no votes, 0 excused, House Bill 1394 as amended is repassed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1453.
House Bill 1453, Representative Hamner, also Senator Lambert, concerning measures to enhance cybersecurity in connection with making appropriation.
Representative Hamner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move that the House concur in Senate amendments to House Bill 1453.
Please explain your amendments.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem and colleagues. Thank you for your support of this motion. The Senate made 2 changes, and actually this is a joint budget committee bill, so the changes are supported by the budget committee. Just 2 changes. One, it clarifies that the state auditor's role on the Cybersecurity Council is a non-voting member. That allows the state auditor's office to stay impartial in their involvement. And then secondly, we gave community colleges a better role on the council. Instead of telling them what curriculum they would be using, we're actually asking them what curriculum they think is in the best interest, and so they're in a more collaborative and coordinating role on the council. So I ask for a yes vote.
Is there any further discussion on the motion to concur? Seeing none, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative Tyler. Close the machine. With 64 aye votes, 0 no votes, 1 excused, motion to concur is passed. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1453 as amended.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1453 as amended. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative Singer. Close the machine. With 50 aye votes, 14 no votes, 1 excused, House Bill 1453 as amended is repassed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1457.
House Bill 1457, Representatives Garnett and Wilson, also Senators Neville and Garcia, concerning clarification of the existing sales and use tax exemption for residential energy sources.
Representative Garnett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move to concur with Senate amendments to House Bill 1457.
Please explain yourselves. Representative Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. This is pretty profound work on the part of the lower chamber. They inserted the bill number into the legislative declaration. So I would recommend a yes vote and a gold star for their diligent efforts.
That's about all they deserve for that. Seeing no further discussion on the motion to concur, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 60 aye votes, 3 no votes, 1 excused, motion to concur is passed. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. I move for the repassage of House Bill 1457 as amended.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the repassage of House Bill 1457 as amended. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representative Williams. Close the machine. With 64 aye votes, 0 no votes, 1 excused, House Bill 1457 as amended is repassed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Announcements and introductions. Speaker Pro Tem has 2 announcements. Representative Moreno, the Assistant Majority Leader, will replace Representative Kagan on Finance Committee today only. Representative Lontine will replace Representative Moreno, the Assistant Majority Leader, on Transportation Committee today only. Representative Lepsok.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, and I've got a really important announcement. Folks, the city of Federal Heights is not only well known for Waterworld, but it's known for its fine locally elected officials, and I want to make sure that we recognize them. We have Mayor Daniel Dick, Mayor Pro Tem John Hamlin, Councilmember Harold Thomas, Councilmember Kevin Doherty, Councilmember Ken Murphy, Councilmember Carolyn Scharf, and Councilmember Ted May. And if we could clap for those fine folks, appreciate it.
Representative Lipscomb.
And then also, I just noticed that we have former council member Sharon Richardson here as well, and also Marianne Cheslak, who's the wife of the beloved former Mayor Pro Tem Mike Cheslak, is here as well.
Welcomed, esteemed members of the Federal Heights City Government. Representative Court.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Well, Finance Committee, I lied to you earlier. I told you we had 3 bills. Guess what? We have 7. We just got 4 more added, and since this is our last meeting, unless we tried to play some games with all the calendars, we're going to hear those today upon adjournment. Those bills are Senate Bill 001 by Representative Landgraf, Senate Bill 97, Representative Corum, Senate Bill 209, Representatives Buckner and Priola, and Senate Concurrent Resolution 002 with Representative Vigil. I'm sorry to the sponsors of those bills that I can't tell you exact order, and committee, I don't know the order. We're going to have to figure that out kind of on the fly here, but we've added these 4. Again, Senate Bill 1, Senate Bill 97, Senate Bill 209, and Senate Concurrent Resolution 2. So let's get on over there. Ask your aides to bring you lunch. We will be working through. Thank you.
Representative Tyler.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Transportation Committee, listen up. You know, we're in the last days, or the last days of the session at any rate. We have some strange things going on, just like any last days. Senate Bill 87 is on the calendar also today. We added another bill. At least it's got something to do with PUC and roads and trains, so we might have some familiarity with that. And we're going to get to it if we possibly can. So see you at 10 minutes after adjournment downstairs. Thank you.
Representatives Carver and Lee. Representative Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the banner that we ask you to sign on behalf of the USS Colorado Seaman. It's going to be in Maryland's office back here, and we ask all of the state reps to get on this banner with a signature. You can send them a note if you like, but this is our recognition of the crew of the USS Colorado.
Representative Carver.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. And this banner or crest
will then be affixed to the ship itself, which is expected to be at sea for 40 years. And so this is a great opportunity for us to be part of commemorating USS Colorado.
Wonderful opportunity for the members. Representative Kagan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Members of the House Judiciary Committee, we will be in conference room 271. Conference room 271 this afternoon.
Representative Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. Members of the Business Affairs and Labor Committee, we worked hard on Tuesday and cleared our calendar, so this afternoon we'll have our year-end Business Affairs and Labor luncheon at 1:30. We will be at the Yard House, which is in walking distance. It's inside the Sheraton at 1550 Court. See you at 1:30.
Representative Willett.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I need to be excused tomorrow. My last of 4 children is graduating college, and so I turned in my form, and thank you for that excuse.
What a wonderful occasion. Representative Willett will be excused. Representative Lundeen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem. And sticking with the familial theme here, my nephew, Jacob Plott, who is a rising sophomore at the University of Richmond, is visiting with us today. He is someone who will visit a chamber similar to this at some point in his future, I would suspect. Thanks for being here today, Jacob.
Welcome. Any further announcements or introductions? Seeing none, Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker Pro Tem and members. We are asking committee chairs to try and finish up their work by 5 o'clock. At some point, we will have to do a call to the House and bring everybody back to the floor. So I would be around. 5 is probably a little bit wishful thinking, but that is the ask at this point. And at some point, so for some of the committees that are meeting, we may ask them to recess, come to the floor so we can get work done. And they may have to meet again after we're done with our floor work. So it is that time of session. Thank you for serving the people of Colorado. I move that the House stand in recess until later today at 1:30 p.m.
The House will be in recess.